You want some more of these drugs? Back at the drugs. You won't have drugs for long. I'm just a regular, everyday, non-drug user. Told you the first time, I'll tell you in another. Everyday, non-drug user. I don't use drugs, go find another. I'm just an everyday, non-drug user. I don't use drugs because they're with thugs. Just an everyday, non-drug user. I associate with drugs or thugs. I was walking down the street the other day. I saw free drugs, but I didn't take them anyway. While you thugs selling drugs, I'm not gonna stay. I'm gonna call the cops on you anyway. After tax fraud, it was a terrible life. That's why I look to the future for a brighter night, because instead I might get a bitter bite. But it's still early at life, so maybe you might get an earlier day at night. I'm just a non-drug user, but you might not believe me because my pupils aren't loser. Don't use drugs because they're bad for you, but vapes are pretty new, but you might have knew that too. I'm just an everyday, normal, non-drug user. I don't like using drugs because they're bad for you too. Just an everyday, non-drug user. I don't use drugs because they're not good for you. A regular, everyday, non-drug user.
I don't shoot up heroin, I shoot up schools.
Just a regular, everyday, non-drug user. I like to use drugs, but they're still a part of the
economy,
which is blasphemy, but we all know this is still part of the philosophy. But this doesn't change the fact that drugs are bad for you, so you better be well rested, because I'm coming after you like Mewtwo. But even if that's true, don't forget that vape's in there too. All this drug talk got me exhausted, but let's not forget the fact that you'll be frosted. Don't add a few more pounds, I think I'm gonna drown. Let's just go for a few more rounds. Every drug user is behind bars. Like the time I was in cuffs for tax fraud. Let's move on because it's almost Christmas. Let's drink some eggnog. But even after all this, I still got one more up my sleeve, ready to hear it. Just please don't leave. Just please stop using
drugs,
because I really think I'm starting to get smug. Please help, I can't be making these rhymes, but at least I'm not doing time for the crime. I'm not gonna pretend this is the end, so please just let me lend it, and then so I can send it. Just a regular, everyday, non-drug user.
Taking that green, but ain't money, it's the devil's lettuce.
Just a regular, everyday, non-drug user. When I got time, I gotta give you a dime. Regular, everyday, non-drug user. I like the first verse better, but the second one was good too. Just a regular, everyday, non-drug user. Prefer to not use drugs or vapes because they're not good for you. Even after all this talk, there's still one more word to be said and led, and so let me give it to you. It's still a drug, but you wanna know what it's called? It's called meth. And that was it, and it was lit. So these are my final words to you, so let's hear it fit. I'm gonna hand over the mic for the final words to be hit. Let's hope it's lit, because I'm so sick of this shit.
drugs, spend money on drugs, bad.